Sometimes you're not ugly, you're just broke. Sometimes you're not ugly, you just got bad lighting, okay? Sometimes you're not ugly, you just need to take care of yourself more. You just need to love on yourself a little bit more. Hello, everyone, and welcome back to another episode of Let Me Just Say This. If you are new here, hello, welcome to the vibe, welcome to the tribe. Go ahead and subscribe because you are going to love it here. And if you are watching on the YouTube channel, as you should, hello, hey, from the living room once again. I've missed you guys. I know I didn't have an episode last week, but I'm back with you guys this week. And I have some thoughts on this topic that I've been wanting to talk about for quite some time now. Actually, I wanted to address this and I want to say 2022. I wanted to talk about this, but some time has progressed. And the girls on TikTok, you know I love TikTok, have been talking about this. So there is one creator that made this video and there were some responses to it. And I just want to give my 2 cents as someone who is a beneficiary of these things, if I might humbly say, but realistically, let's be honest, your girl is fine as hell. And the topic of today is pretty privilege. You can't talk about pretty privilege without talking about colorism and light skin privilege, okay? You have to. They go hand in hand, all right? And if you're watching, we have a brief cameo from my son. I know you guys haven't seen him in quite some time. That's because I've been locking his ass up as I record because he can't get enough of me. He always want to cuddle. And for reference, my son is a cat, okay? Not a human being. I am a fur mama, okay? So let's go ahead and get right on into it. Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead and play this TikTok for you guys. This is by a creator by the name of Quan Mills, and we're gonna get into the commentary afterwards. Let's take a listen.
I'm a fat, old, black-ass nigga. Looks matter. They matter. I just turned 40 this past March, and one of my biggest regrets is not realizing just how important looks are and how much your appearance matters in this world. Human beings are naturally superficial. It's a part of our biology. It's ingrained in us. We can't help it. We are biased toward treating people who look good better. It's just the facts of life. The faster you realize this and the faster you accept this, the better off you will be in the long run.
Okay, I'm going to stop it there. There's more that he goes on to say, but I want to focus in specifically on this part, okay? Because the reality is that, yes, humans are vain. Humans rely primarily and initially, almost always, unless obviously they have some sort of visual impairment, on the aesthetic of a person when they look at them. And people don't say that first impressions and appearance matters for no reason, because it does. It honestly is what makes the world go round. When we think about money, when we think about family, when we think about sex, all those things start from the basis of how attractive are you? How aesthetically pleasing are you? Especially in this sort of day and age where your physical appearance is your currency. On social media, that is your currency. Your aesthetic is your currency. If you are a creator or you are someone who is trying to get ahead, even not on social media, even in any career, being aesthetically pleasing, right, or being attractive is something that inherently is going to give you a leg up. And this is what we know as pretty privilege. Now, I know there are a lot of negative connotations involved with pretty privilege, and I 100% understand them, because it is not fair that because someone is more attractive or aesthetically pleasing, according to conventional societal standards, that their lives are inherently easier. It is not fair. It's not, but it's the reality. And I don't believe that pretty privilege is something that cannot be attained. It is something that can be attained, because when you think about it, if you've ever seen those old, pictures of celebrities before they got a lot of money and they just look regular, they don't look any sort of outstanding. Or you see if you watch the old episodes of Real Housewives of Atlanta and they all looked regular. Wigs was looking a mess. Everything was looking a mess. And they just look like regular human beings. But now you look at them, they're glammed up. They look amazing. They look like top tier when it comes to aesthetics. Sometimes you're not ugly. You're just broke. Sometimes you're not ugly. You just got bad lighting. Okay? Sometimes you're not ugly. You just need to take care of yourself more. You just need to love on yourself a little bit more. Okay? And when you do those things, I think it naturally boosts your confidence. It naturally just gives you this brightness and this inner light. And so when I talk about pretty privilege in my experience, which I'm going to detail that a little bit later, when I speak on pretty privilege, I'm leaning more towards the aspects of show up in the world how you want to be perceived. Show up in the world how you want people to treat you. And the reality is, if you're not taking care of yourself, if you're quote unquote letting yourself go, and you're not keeping up with your physical appearance, people are going to treat you as such. And even worse than that, you are going to treat you as such. When you don't look good, oftentimes you don't feel good. How many of us have been in situations where we didn't feel like we looked our best, and it negatively impacted how we interacted with people around us? It negatively impacted our confidence and how we, showed up. It's the same thing. It's the same thing. I know there are some people out there that say, hey, I go out, I dress for myself. I don't care about seeking validation. I don't care if my hair is done. I'm going to go out and be comfortable and all this other jazz. And 1000% more power to you. I will never stop you. Actually, I love the agency. However, the reality is that when you take care of yourself and you are deemed more attractive, people treat you better. People are nicer to you. Your interactions are more pleasant. You're more likely to get things. And I don't mean just like monetary value because you're fine. I mean, you're more likely for people to approach you because you seem nicer, because you look nice. You look like you take care of yourself. You are more likely to get that promotion. And that's not good, but it's the reality. You are more likely to, get that career that you are interested in. And I always say, when I go to work, and this is a prime example, when I go to work, there are people who work in my building who come to work looking regular, like they just got up off the couch and came to work. They got on a Rick and Morty t-shirt and some cargo pants and Crocs. Okay? And no shade to Rick and Morty because we love it. Rick and Morty. Rick and Morty. We love Rick and Morty. However, dress how you want people to treat you, especially in the workplace. And I always said to myself, there will never be a day that I go to work looking crazy. If I show up to work and I'm looking crazy, check on me. Something is wrong with me. I will always show up to work looking fine, dressed nicely, smelling good, hair done. I will always show up looking good because I want people to interact with me pleasantly, and I want potential opportunities to come to me based on how I am showing up. I'm dressing for what I want to receive. I'm dressing to impress. I'm dressing for the job that I really want. Okay? And honestly, if we want to take out the whole aspect of other people's perception of us, we can do that as well. And it still applies because as the saying goes, when you look good, you feel good. When I see girls or when they ask me, like, how do I get motivated to go to the gym? Because I am a gym mommy. If you follow my personal page, I like going to the gym. I like putting on cute little gym fits. And I tell them, get something really cute to wear to the gym. That's how you get motivated to go to the gym. The motivation comes from getting a really cute gym outfit and feeling yourself. And then you go to the gym and you go hard. You go to the gym because you're like, damn, I look good. I feel good. I want to continue this. Things like that make a difference. How you feel about yourself makes a difference. And you also have to question yourself, like, do I need to tighten up? Have I let myself go? Have I stopped taking care of myself? Have I stopped giving myself, the maintenance that my body and my mind needs to feel good and be happy? Because the reality is, when you see people outside or even just in passing and they look a mess, oftentimes something in their life is also a mess. Oftentimes, something about how they feel about themselves is also a mess. Something about their self-esteem is also low. Versus when you see people who are out and they look nice and they take pride in their appearance, there is a sense that they have things together a little bit more. There's a sense that they love themselves a little more. And when I think about the times that I didn't feel my prettiest or I didn't feel my best, but I still tried my best to, pick myself up. So that way, at least I'm like, okay, I feel okay. I feel better because at least I look good. One thing that people say a lot, like in order to get out of a slump, Go get your hair done. Go get your nails done. They say that to girls all the time. And the reality is it's true, because you're going to be looking at yourself like, damn, I'm fly. I look good. I feel good. I want to go be seen. I'm happy now. Your mood changes. Your energy changes. Your spirit changes. And I'm not saying to be conceited. I'm not saying to be vain. But what I'm saying is take pride in how you show up. Take pride every day. When you step out that door, you should look good and you should feel good. Nobody should ever see you looking a damn mess, ever. And if they do, they should know, hey, that's a signal. This person may need some words of encouragement. This person may need some advice. This person is probably going through something, you know? And that's really how it be. Now, in terms of my personal experience with pretty privilege, I will humbly say that I am a beneficiary of pretty privilege, okay? I will humbly say that people treat me better when I look better. There have been times that I've gone out and I've gotten free things. I've gotten into places. People were looking out for me in ways that they normally wouldn't for someone that they didn't find attractive. And I feel twofold about this, because part of me is like, yo, that sucks. You know, I wish it wasn't like that. But also, I'm going to use it to my advantage. I'm a believer in using your privileges for good. So if I'm taking advantage of pretty privilege, I'm going to use it in a way that not only benefits me, but benefits the people around me, but benefits, you know, others in some way, where I'm not just, you know, reaping all these benefits and taking advantage of this system that really is actually not very fair at all. And I feel the same way about, you know, colorism and light skin privilege. As a Black woman, I can recognize that I benefit from light skin privilege quite a bit. Light skin privilege directly plays into pretty privilege, and we can't talk about one without the other. And because I know that inherently I'm going to benefit as a lighter skinned woman that is considered attractive, I would rather use that for good instead of evil. I would rather use that to boost not only myself up, but the people around me. You know what I'm saying? If I'm getting all of these benefits, I would rather use those things to help people and to spread, you know, more positivity than to be mean and be nasty and be, you know, conceited about things. That's where, honestly, I feel like your spirit plays a role. Listen, I know a lot of people don't like to talk about colorism in conjunction with pretty privilege because it's just really taboo, it's tumultuous, but the reality is that they go together. They walk side by side, hand in hand, okay? Because a lot of times the people who benefit from colorism also benefit from pretty privilege. And not necessarily because they are inherently that much attractive than the rest of the population. It's because that colorism aspect and that closeness to conventional societal beauty standards is what gives them more of a leg up in the pretty department, quote unquote. I feel like the most important thing about using privilege for good and not evil is recognizing that you have it. You have to recognize that you have pretty privilege. You have to recognize that you have light skin privilege. You have to recognize that you have white privilege in order to use those things in a way that's going to benefit society as a whole, or benefit your community, or benefit your, you know, loved ones or your family. And honestly, the family and the close friends aspect a little bit less. It should be people who don't look like you, people who don't benefit from the same things that you benefit from, because inherently society is going to give you these keys, basically. Because you look a certain way, society is going to make life a little bit easier for you. And because life is a little bit easier for you, use that to make life a little bit easier for the people that society has discarded. Now, when it comes to pretty privilege and dating and colorism and dating, for me personally, one of my biggest pet peeves is when a man approaches me on the basis of my looks in terms of me being light-skinned, or in terms of me having curly hair, or in terms of me fitting some aesthetic that is rooted in colorism. It gives me the ick, because at the end of the day, I'm a Black woman. I'm a Black woman, and I have Black women around me at all times who represent the diversity and the uniqueness of us. And you come to me and you think that complimenting me in a way that is disparaging towards Black women who don't share the same aesthetic as me it's going to make me want you? I'm not one of those girls. If anything, I'll kick you dead in your shit. Just for my sisters and them. Because I'm not that girl. I'm not that girl. You know what I'm saying? But I recognize that there are some women who really will dive deep into that. Yeah, I'm better than the girls because I look a certain way, and that's why you can't keep a man. Just like, oh, girl, what's that girl, Luke Kane? Or whatever her name was? She on the internet looking a mess all the time. And I don't mean that like, actually, I do mean that in a very disrespectful way, because what she said was so crazy to me. Now, I'm not all the way read into that situation, but essentially what she said was, people, or I get more than you because I'm more attractive than you because I'm lighter skinned than you. That mentality right there is so ugly. I really hate that. I really hate that you're doing that and you are making a bad name for the high yellows and the light brights. Okay? There are a lot of us who really don't believe that, and it's a misconception. But there are a lot of that do. And honestly, off with their fucking heads, because they're fucking up the game. When I meet a man, especially when he comes to me with a lot of admiration for my appearance, I start to go through like a mental checklist of, is this man pursuing me because he's actually intrigued by not only my appearance, but my mind and my spirit? Or is he just pursuing me because I have an aesthetic that he likes, that he wants to have on his side, that he wants to put on a shelf or have as a trophy, or he just wants to say that he got? And I wish I didn't have to do that, but it's the truth. It's the truth. And I've had men who approached me and really only wanted me because of how I looked. They didn't want me to speak. They wanted me to just shut the hell up and be by their side and be pretty. Just be there. Just stand here and look pretty type shit. I'm a believer that some of the prettiest people are pretty more so than their looks, but because of their spirit and their mind, their intellect. There's nothing more attractive than an intellectual. There's nothing more attractive than someone who has something to say. There's something up here. It can't be all looks. It can't be, because beauty fades. And that's not to say don't take care of yourself, because I'm trying to be fine till I'm 92. But mentally up here, if this isn't right, it can make someone go from a 10 to a 0 really fast. Do you know how many men I've spoken to that have been fine? Fine. As soon as they start talking, I just think to myself, wah, 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 God, shut up. Now you done went down. You done went down several levels in my mind. You can be as fine as you want. You can have as much money as you want. But if up here isn't okay, and if your spirit isn't right, you're not as attractive. You're not as fine. And superficial people will base a person's value solely based on their appearance, right? When inherently it is about the entire person. You have to be a well-rounded person, in my eyes, to be considered attractive. You can't just be fine and be mean. You can't just be fine and be ignorant. You can't just be fine and be, complicit to bullshit. You have to be fine and also stand on business. You have to be fine and also be an intellectual and also care about the people around you and also feed into your community. Those are things that are far more attractive and last longer than the physical does. And just like this creator was saying, okay, looks do matter. You have to take care of yourself. 1000%. You have to take care of yourself, especially while you're young. You should be taking care of yourself while you're young. While you're young, this is your prime. You are at some of your finest moments, right? While you're young and you still have the capacity, you still have the health, you still have the drive, you have the energy to take care of yourself. Do it now while you're young, okay? But understand that that is not all there is to it. That's not all there is to it. Because even if I were walking into work and was stunning every day, if my attitude was fucked up, people would not like me. People would not do things for me. I wouldn't have a community. I wouldn't have people willing to be nice to me and share with me and give to me if my attitude was shitty. And that's just what it is. Now, if you're one of those people who is in a space where you are not feeling your best, you are not looking your best, and you don't know where to start, right? You start very small. You start very small with acts of self-love. Taking care of your body is self-love too. So that means, yes, get up and take a shower. Yes, get up and brush your teeth twice a day and floss, okay? Yes, get up and get active. You don't got to be an athlete or an all-star, but go for a walk, touch some grass, go to the gym. Take care of the physical in you, because your health directly impacts your mental, directly impacts your physical appearance, right? You start small. You start with the little things, because I understand there's a lot of people who get into depressions or slumps, or they get complacent and they stop doing things like that. They stop showering every day, okay? They stop brushing at night, or they skip things that inherently are not only improving their physical, but also improving their mental health. And then you work your way up. Maybe instead of going out to the store in sweatpants and a hoodie every time, maybe just put something nice on. You ain't got to get dressed up. Just put on a cute pair of jeans, some sandals, a nice little top. Go run your errands and see how much of a difference that makes in how you feel. Not only how people treat you, but how you feel. Sometimes it only takes a little bit of, razzle dazzle. And you don't have to have a lot of money. You don't have to go get a BBL. You don't have to go get your teeth done. You don't have to go get laser eye surgery or change your eye color or go spend a bunch of money on your hair or your clothes in order to look nice and feel good. You could go right up the street to the Marshalls, get you something little cute, put that on, and step out and watch how you feel. Watch how you feel about life. You feel like you start to live. I don't know about you or anybody else, but sometimes when I'm in a slump and I feel like I'm just rotting and I'm just laying around in like yesterday's t-shirt and sweats, I feel like I'm not living. I feel like life is living me. I'm not living life, So take the extra little initiative to put a little extra something into your appearance. Do something nice with your hair. And you don't have to be going anywhere. You don't have to have, like I said, a lot of money or a lot of status or an aesthetic, environment to take pictures. All you need to do is give yourself a little boost with something in your appearance. Obviously, I'm a person who puts my physical appearance on a platform, which leaves space for people to comment on it all the time. People talk about my acne. They talk about my teeth. They talk about my glasses. They tell me I'm ugly. They say I'm nothing but a 3, that nobody's going to want me. And, I'm unattractive and all this other stuff. They talk about my weight even. Like, if I was a person who didn't have as much mental fortitude, if I was a person who didn't love myself first and foremost, outside of what anybody else thinks, I could be easily impacted by those type of comments. I could be one of those girls that had people tell me in my comments, your teeth are crip walking in your mouth, and think to myself, damn, let me go get some veneers so that I can please the gaze of these people who inherently hate themselves. They inherently hate themselves. Anybody who fixes themselves to speak on your appearance does not love themselves, and there's nothing you can do to please them by changing yourself. Changing yourself is not a fix for that. If my self-esteem was lower, I would let the comments that people make about my appearance actually impact me in a negative way, to the point where I would start to see that in myself, and I would try to change myself, and I would, not value myself as much. And this is another conversation entirely that I probably will speak on at another point. Social media leads a lot of people down the road of seeking validation by changing their physical appearance, by going to get the BBL, by going to get the veneers in the basement, by going to change their eye color or doing specific things with their hair or editing their photos a specific way. And it's really sad to me, because you will always be chasing this idea of perfection. You will always be chasing those people who said you were ugly. the people who said that you weren't pretty, you will always be chasing them down and hoping, hey, look at me. I fixed my teeth. I'm pretty now, right? Doesn't matter. What they think does not matter. And if you are constantly seeking out someone else to validate your appearance and tell you that you're beautiful, you will never truly believe it yourself. You got to get to the root of that. My God, today, this topic really has been something I've been wanting to speak on for a really long time, because as I've gone through my journey with the podcast, I have had people tell me that they followed me because I'm attractive, or had people speak ill about my appearance even, or, just had a lot of scrutiny with that. And it's very difficult. It really reminds me of that song by TLC. It's called Unpretty. And it's like, I wish I could make you feel as unpretty as you're making me feel right now when you say those things. Or I wish I could make you feel as objectified as you are making me feel when you say, I don't really care about nothing you say. You just look good. Okay, I'm just here to look good. I'm just here to be, trophy on a shelf, or maybe I'm not even good enough to be the trophy, right? Mentally, the idea of appearance and aesthetics and pretty privilege and colorism, it has engulfed social media. It's very prevalent on social media. Colorism is very prevalent on TikTok. It's very prevalent on Instagram. It's very prevalent on YouTube. You can't escape it. And when Jackie Aina said, there's TikTok pretty and there's regular pretty, there's TikTok pretty, then there's Instagram pretty, we know what you're talking about. We know what gets boosted. We know what people want to see. And we know how people treat those who are considered conventionally unattractive or outside of the overarching accepted beauty standard. And it's not nice. It's really mean. And now that I'm in a space where, and I've been in this space for a minute with my comments, but now that I'm in a space where people can actively critique my appearance, it has taken work for me to not get angry or annoyed by it, because I recognize, like I said, they hate themselves. They hate themselves. I will never bring myself to insult someone's appearance because I love myself. And because I love myself, despite all my flaws, I can see the beauty in others, regardless of how I feel about their actions. So, my gosh, if you needed it, this was your reminder to get up, take care of yourself, take care of your appearance, show up for yourself, because yes, looks matter. Looks matter not only because it impacts how people treat you, but it impacts how you treat yourself. Think about how you're treating yourself when you're not taking care of your appearance, your health, mentally and physically. Think about that. I really hope you guys enjoyed this episode. I hope that you guys got something good out of this. And if you don't follow on the socials, please follow on Instagram and TikTok. Everything will be linked below for you. I love you guys very deeply, and I cannot wait to get with you guys in the next one.